Okay, Triumph, you goddamn tired master. You will remember to turn the overlay off this time. Yes, you will. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. You are watching the Premier League Season 3. My name is Triumph Man, and I will be casting Meet Your Makers versus No Tide Under. No Tide Under currently holding a 1-0 lead in their best-of-3 series. They are on the Radiant side this time around. You can see they are not actually tagged. I don't think they actually have a team tag yet. They should probably sort that out if they haven't. But regardless, moving along, we do have the Shadow Demon banned out by No Tide Under. Now, last match, there were a couple of ganks that went horribly wrong, and it came down to the defensive disruptions from, I believe it was Atsi playing the Shadow Demon. Very well played as well. But continuing along, though, we do have the Linnea first banned by Meet Your Makers. Now, will they decide to ban out Sven? Because last time they decided to first pick the Sven against No Tide Under. We do enjoy that man mode Sven pick on the on every occasion they possibly can. Also, Admiral Bulldog also has a bit of a respect band going against him with the Syllabear. So the question is whether or not they'll ban out one of those. Of course, we do have the first pick for NTH though. We'll see what they decide to go with. But their second ban now.
Reserve time.
And we'll see what they decide to go with. I'm seeing some... What are you saying, Tosser, for you? What on earth is that? Never mind. Darkseer banned out by NTH, so they did put it to good use last match. However, it looks like they won't be using it this match. And of course, Darkseer, if you're not using him, might as well ban him out. Here's nasty stuff indeed. MYM though, they're banned here. Now, will they get rid of the Syllabear? Will they get rid of the Sven? Or will they decide to leave both on the board? I mean, if they let Syllabear through, they could always just counterpick. They could always just go with the Sven pick instead. But they decided to get rid of the Batrider, of course, Bulldogs, causing all sorts of hell with the Batrider last match. Did get off to he had a fairly easy start though, of course. He was against a solo Titan. Did get picked off by an early gank from Sven, but in the end, wasn't a big deal. Now, I should mention that these teams have clashed once before. It was 1 month ago, and I believe it was for the Thor qualifiers, one of the Thor matches anyway. And in that situation, No Tide Hunter did come out on top. So that has been the only game on record so far for these two teams between each other. But MYM, I think, are the flat-out underdogs community-wise. I think a lot of people are rooting for No Tide on here. I think I saw something like an 80% bet there, 80% bet to win there on NTH at the moment. But the double pick here for Meet Your Makers, they are going to take their time with it. I kind of doubt that they would go for... a Syllabear pick just because I've not seen them play very much of it. They might go for the Sven again, definitely a possibility. That said, Bounty Hunter being picked up by No Tide Hunter. This, of course, is really, really lethal in the right hands. And when you're falling behind, like a few ganks from a Bounty Hunter can get things rolling in the right direction and just stall, basically put an end to a downward spiral. Help things get back on track. And also, when you've got heroes that need to close the gap, stuff like Sven, etc., the track speed is a huge, huge buff in terms of just being able to get to grips with the enemy. I'm just wondering, we might even see Bounty Hunter fit Sven and Wisp all rolling together in the same team. Not obviously not in the same lane, but it's definitely a possibility. MYM though, they are definitely taking the time with this pick. So they go for the Jakira and the Keeper of the Light. There we go. There's plenty of AoE at the moment for them. And now the double pick for No Tide. I kind of want to see Sven and Wisp get popped out by them, but we'll see in a moment. We'll see where they're going with this one. They might decide, you know what, we want to try some different things here. And it will be Rubik, so we're going to probably see that in Envy's hands once again. Of course, he stole a couple of Ravages last match. Quick fingers there. And of course, you steal a Ravage, you can completely and utterly turn a fight around, especially since the enemy team will suspect it at the... Well, it's one of the things they least suspect the wrong moment. They see the steal, but they have no idea what they've stolen unless Titan to really... Unless whoever has it stolen knows exactly what he's had nicked, whether or not he had time to pull it off or not. But sometimes you see those down to the wire situations. You never know what Rubik's got up his sleeve. But now the third pick here, the No Tide Hunter. What is it going to be? You kind of expect if we see Sven go through here, they might just ban him out. MI might even just ban him out because they can. I mean, or they could even pick him up again if they really want to. But as we saw, No Tide Hunter, they did quite nicely in the end there with the lifestealer once he got farmed up and rolling. So Envy is going to take his time with the second pick, though, or rather third pick. This double pick here. Will they decide to pick up a nice little combo? Will they just pick up some generals heroes? I mean, they're probably looking for a solo mid at this point. Envy, if that Rubik is going to Envy, which we saw him play at quite depth last match. But there we go. Lotus Sven has been picked up. Envy probably going to be playing Rubik at this stage, so I'm expecting support Rubik. And the question is whether or not they go offensive or defensive with their lanes. I kind of feel they're likely to go defensive here. Just get Sven the farm he needs. As we saw, the Sven from MYM sort of petered out when they didn't manage to get that Crystallis up and running, that Daedalus up and running. Also, he didn't have a Mask of Madness, if memory serves me correctly, either. which is another thing. That attack speed and movement speed buff is a pretty big deal. In fact, went for the early BKB, which did help him avoid a lot of damage, but at the same time, just couldn't really dish it out quite as fast as he needed to. And basically, Lifestealer was all over his case with it. Third pick here for MYM. I should also mention they have got a stand-in tonight, of course, Pimpalicious there, who played pretty well in the first match. He, of course, was playing the Titan, did quite well with himself, so no complaints there, really. Didn't see any, I think, who was it was missing Ravagers at the International? It was Santa, that's right, it was Santa who was missing Ravagers. Somewhat embarrassing there. And there we go, Undying being picked up, and we've seen exactly how annoying this can be for Sven to deal with. I think we may find that NTH may regret not banning out that Undying. Of course, they did ban it in the first match. That's it though, maybe they're picking up the damage. Of course, if they have enough damage, or if they can just focus fire it, Undying, a lot of Undying strength in the mid game, and of course against Sven, it's just the Tombstone. If they get rid of the Tombstone quickly and efficiently, then they're not going to have too many issues. So Sven can get in there, just slam it with a couple of hits and get rid of it very quickly, then it's not going to be too much of an issue. But if he can't close the gap, then it's going to be very, very annoying. But we'll see what they decide to go with. Maybe they're hoping that Warcry and the track speed is going to be enough to overcome the zombies. Of course, we do have to keep in mind, no matter how funny the zombies are for you, they are incredibly annoying for everybody else on your team, particularly your support heroes. It's very difficult for your support heroes to keep up with everybody else in your team, or even stay anywhere near the fight when the zombies are starting to get stacked up on them.
Reserve time.
Who won game 1? It was no Titan Hunter. They won game 1. And now, Mitchell Makers, they have to win game number 2, or they are going to be, well, they're going to lose this match, basically. MYM have not had the best of runs so far, as it looks like they're taking their time to get these bans out. Now, there has been a bit of a development in the Premier Leagues. I'll bring this up for a second. We'll go back to the game screen just saying Eclipsia have been disqualified. So you can see the 9 losses straight up there. I think I heard Windrunner getting banned out. As we see, Mitchell Makers on 2 wins only. No Titan already sitting on 2 wins. They are working their way for a 3rd right now. The Windrunner was banned along with the Chen ban. Chen being knocked out as well. Don't know if they would have gone for him, but we'll see. 3rd, 4th ban here now. Now, Meteor Makers, they are looking for some solo heroes here, most likely, or rather, they could throw Keep Light into a solo role. I get the feeling that this is going to be sort of an offensive, Undying Keep Light Jakiro trying to shut down the Sven. They're going to try and keep Sven under control. This is going to be quite frustrating for him if they can manage it. But I think they're looking for 2 solos. One, somebody to solo the safe lane. That could be anything from something like a Clinks, who can get farmed up quite easily by himself when left to his own devices. Or they could go for something like, something less
10 seconds
late game oriented. I mean, they could even throw something like Leshrac in the safe lane and keep Lane Storms, but stuff like that if they really want to. But at the same time, they're looking for 2 solos other way, something to take the solo mid, and probably something to solo the safe lane, because I think that Keeper, Jakiro, and Undying, their focus is going to be shutting down Sven and making life hell for him.
10 seconds
but we'll see where they decide to roll Sven, because they've come up against this before. The Undying trialing was so difficult for Sven to deal with in their game number, which game was, I believe it was against, might have been against Virtus Pro actually, but one of those games they really, really struggled with getting Sven farmed. It came down, what the heck? Okay, so Spirit Breaker was banned by no Tidehunter. Now, of course, Loader comes from Team Zenith, as most recently, and of course they were known for their very trollish picks, one of which, of course, was using Spirit Breaker in competitive matches. I don't fully understand the Spirit Breaker ban here, but you know what? There we go. Alright, so I'm flat out confused, but we'll see what they decide to get worried about then. Of course, Spirit Breaker is quite good at taking out a single, well, basically disabling a single target fight, just going, basically pointing at someone and saying, you don't get to participate, I'm just going to go and punch you in the face for the rest of the fight. Even if it doesn't do that much damage, then the bash is always really, really annoying, but still, I just really did not expect a ban there on him. Anyway, Necrolite also being banned. Here's another hero that we do not see very often. I really would like to see Necrolite actually get played a lot more frequently, just because, you know, he seems to have had some major buffs. But people just have been a little bit reluctant in terms of picking him. But we'll see where they decide to go. I see Necrolite. You could throw him in there with the Undying. You have a very, very difficult to kill team that could force all sorts of early team fights. But at the same time, nobody's really experimented with him all that much. So, I don't know. You can see where the synergy comes out from the Necrolite, but really, the Spirit Breaker, don't have much of a clue on that one. Now Leshrac being picked up for no Tidehunter. Now they've got some good stuns here. Rubik, Sven, and Leshrac could cause some havoc together, but I don't know if they've got the firepower there to deal with Jakiro, Undying, and Keep Light if they roll together. And it will be a Magnetor pick. So it looks like MYM, they're going for full-on early game team fights here. Plenty of firepower being picked up. Magnetor's ult, of course, crazy stuff. Especially when you start dragging everybody into a pit of zombies with a macro pile laid over the top of it. There's a lot of AoE firepower there, and it looks like no Tynator will really want to A, watch their intervals, really watch their spacing against Magnetor, and B, they're also going to be looking, I think, for that early pipe mech because they're going to need it. But there we go, Syllabear being picked up, and here we go, Bulldog will be grabbing that, and it looks like they're just going to go, you know what? The 4 heroes here, Sven, Rubik, and Leshrac and Bounty Hunter, they're just going to go around, split up, try and gank, try and pick heroes off, maybe group up and defend if necessary, but Lone Druid will be left to his own device, and it's going to be a race, basically. Can MYM get a Rax before Lone Druid picks up a Radiant? We'll see. But Meet Your Makers now, they have an option to go for the late game with some kind of carry, but if they do not, really it's going to come down to Magnetor. It's going to be their only steroid skill, and in all honesty, he's not going to match up to Sven and Lone Druid, but we'll see what their final pick here.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Final pick for Meet Your Makers. Now, they could go for some... I mean, I could feel something like a Klinks here. If they wanted to play it safe here, Klinks is a hero that they could select because he can go and sit in his own lane and farm, and be left alone and farm. Shadow Fiend, less so. I mean, he doesn't have the same late game prowess, but at the same time, I think Shadow Fiend could potentially get knocked out by Lone Druid and Sven. However, unlike Klinks, he has a lot more mid-game teamfight potential, which I think is what Meet Your Makers are going for. I mean, they're going for the big combo here. They just want to grab them up with Magnetor and just slam people with a Requiem. Whether or not they get the opportunity to do that is another question entirely. We'll see. But I am definitely worried about that lineup from Meet Your Makers. It is quite powerful indeed, but it comes down... We've seen exactly how fast Bulldog farms with the Syllabear, even in the suicide lane. So we'll see what they've got up their sleeve here. But it looks like S4 will be taking that Bounty Hunter. It'll probably play it in the mid, unless they're playing for some dual lane setup. But we'll see in a moment. We will see in just a second here. But it looks like Atsi going to play in Jakiro, no surprise. The Neno as well on the support Keeper Light. Pimpalicious playing Undying. Magnus on Quash Cover. Okay, so it looks like this might actually be an offensive lane with the Magnetor instead. And then we had the final player there, Calculus on the Shadow Beam. Calculus likely to take this solo mid-roll. That said, on the dice, on the Radiant side, let's call out their players here. So we have Envy playing Rubik, no surprise. Aki on the Shrek, so he'll be a support as well. Bounty Hunter being played by S4. Loader playing the Sven, and Bulldog on his Lone Druid. But definitely one hell of a scary lineup here from MYM. Now it looks like Calculus, no, going to the safe lane. He will be left to his own device there. Magnetor going mid. You see that build there? That's a classic mid build for anything with melee and can spamble nuke. He goes, you know what, let me just get a fast bottle here and just spam my nuke all day long. Use that to CS with. So say good luck. I mean, they're going to need it. This is a really nasty lane. We saw exactly how fast things went downhill when they didn't get their farm on Sven. So the Shrek and Sven will be headed towards. And it looks like Bulldog's going to be taking the safe lane. Bounty Hunter. Where's the Bounty Hunter going? It looks like they might be going to an offensive try line here. Aki, Loader, as well as Envy. Looks like they're going for an offensive try line here. They'll probably try and leave him to his own devices against... Who is he going to be up against? He's going to be up against the Shadow Fiend, which, I mean, he should be alright against the Shadow Fiend during the early levels. Might struggle a bit once Shadow Fiend picks up some souls. And uh-oh, Calculus has been spotted, scouted, and about to get routed. As Envy's going to dump him on the high ground here. He's got wards too. This is not good for Calculus. Oh, I feel so sorry for him. He's going to get chased back into him there, and they could just pick him up, or they might just auto-attack him there. There we go, going to dump him on the high. No, just picks him up and puts him on the ground. They're deciding to waste a ward. They're trying to get the last hit to the Loader. Will they regret it, though? They decide to give it to Rubik instead. Decide, you know what, alright, he can't run him down. Just take that first blood. Not a huge blow to Shadow Fiend. Obviously, he's going to miss the first wave of creep, but this is going to be the more annoying thing for him. He can't handle this tri lane. Too many stuns. Shadow Fiend is a squishy hero indeed. They need to, and I would not be surprised, in fact, if this tri lane rotates. Look, already Jakiro breaking off. I think they need to send the Neno up there as well, or at least just rotate the entire tri lane and get Shadow Fiend into the safe lane, although he could struggle somewhat against the Lone Druid if he harasses and CSs with a bear at the same time. And Loader decided to be a bit of a pimp here, changing outfits every game, as you can see. Different sword, different helmet. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Magnetor going to have an easy advantage, I'm going to say here, just because it's going to be fairly easy for just to spam nukes here at the Bounty Hunter, and actually send the Neno here mid for a second. Magnetor now headed top. Looks like they're going for an early game. I think they're rotating Shadow Fiend towards mid. I think they said, yeah, okay, Shadow Fiend will be taking the mid instead, realizing this is not a possibility. Now they're rotating a Trilon, but not the one I expected. They're not rotating a full Tron. They're leaving Dirge in the safe lane there. And I think you'll see Bulldog get a lot more aggressive in a second once he realizes what they've done. Good ward there by the Radiant, keeping an eye on things. They know this lane has been popped out here, or they've rotated these lanes around. And once Bulldog finishes up this wave, you'll see him get a lot more aggressive, although he'll still be wary. He doesn't have a defensive ward up there. It's going to be a bit of an issue. And the harassment there from S4. Now, he does have a level advantage here against Shadowfin. However, we'll see things get turned around a little bit once he picks up a level or two in raise. Then S4 will have to be a little bit more careful. See, here he's got Janata up, and see, he just charges for it. Says, you know, I can take you for now. Come at me. I know I said I'd remember the overlay. I did not. I'm an idiot. Anyway, Calculus now back in the mid. Still struggling to get any farm, though. Has actually had to burn a potion at the moment. You see the pull there from the Dire side. However, they could try and invade here and take over, although it looks like they aren't going to actually fend them off. It looks like the Radiant side a little bit wary about charging in here. I think it's just because they don't have the spammable nukes to really clean this up. Whereas if you have stuff, if you have like a really spammable high-powered nukes at the moment, see, they don't have the Fade Bolt yet, and of course they don't really want to blow the Edict and try and clean it up. They don't have those huge nukes available. Whereas you have something like Jiro, it's quite easy, although he's going to charge for it, gets a Storm Bolt down here. They're going to move in towards Atsy, pick him up as well. Going to send him backwards towards his friends there, also catching him in a Split Earth as well. There we go, we're going to have the Shockwave sent through. However, they're unlikely to run him down here, as Loader will need to back up. Edict unable to deal enough damage in time, although Atsy getting pushed back forwards. There's a skewer being used, trying to chase down Aki. Doesn't quite manage to get a couple of auto attacks here. Loader now trying to get some mana back for another Storm Bolt. Now we've got a Split Earth up, they might be trying to bait him forwards here, although it looks like Envy now is in trouble, gets caught out. Ice Path, one more auto attack there. Chakra there, used on Magnus. Magnus now going to have a plenty of mana, having no problems spamming that. It looks like they're going to rotate away once again. Going to send Bulldog up there in a moment. Although Bulldog, they might actually even abandon that altogether. Say Bulldog go in jungle, which I mean he could throw the items he has on the bear right now. It looks like they're just going to play musical lanes here as everybody starts just jumping around, jumping to different lanes here. I think they've realised they really need to get Loader farmed, or things are going to get a little pear-shaped here. Bulldog though has been farming fairly easily, 17 and 6 at the moment. He's a little bit behind, but nobody's really ahead of him. Bounty Hunter the most farmed at the moment, of course. They don't have to worry too much just yet, but there is going to be an issue though, because of course, come the mid game, in the mid lane though, here a telekinesis there. They're going to pick up the Undying, dump him on the high ground. There doesn't have a scroll on him. There's a raise coming through. The bear is fairly low health. Illuminate almost cleaning him up there. Aki now needing to back up. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter just gunning for it here. Doesn't have mana for Shuriken again. We'll have to rely on a Janata strike. He's also got the Fable as well. Can walk away from this. Decides to continue in. No, Neno decides to back up instead. They get the kill there as the Illusions from Undying try to run down the bear to kill that, which wouldn't have done a whole lot anyway. Pimpalicious though, a little bit stuck. He's picked up a teleport scroll, deciding whether or not he wants to jump down there. I think he's a little bit wary, waiting to see where the Rubik is. Actually picks off the Rubik. Getting picked off by Illusion, somewhat embarrassing. It's not something you see every day, getting hunted down and ganked in your jungle by Illusions. He was very low though. Calculus down, a lot of damage taken there. Has got a couple of raises up, although Aki moving in, throwing the Split Earth, no, cancelling, throwing now. Goes to the Split Earth, gets it there, finishes with a Shurik's track kill there for S4. Now let's bring up the hero, or the gold chart there, is in favour of the Radiant side. Not by much, so we see the Dire side also. See the Radiant side also ahead there on experience as well. These ganks definitely help out. Bulldog now in the top lane, being left solo against the Magnetor. Now a gank on the bottom lane here. Could try and pick somebody off. Loader now has got a stun. Warcry ready to go as well. I think they'll probably try and pick off Atsy here. Going to be the easier target, although maybe they'll go for Pimp. Pimp actually doesn't have any mana up. They could gun for him now, right now if they wanted to. Although I think he's realised there is trouble coming and backs off. Calculus really not having a good time here. He's now getting tracked up. Shuriken once again. NTH, gonna try and send him home already. Here we come to S4. There we go. And Illuminate gonna come through with a counterattack. A raise being cancelled there by Calculus. Just off for a second. Bottling up there for Bounty Hunter. He's going to try and charge back in. No, we've got Shadowfiend healing up as well. Still tracked up. You can see how much health he's got exactly. I think it's only a level 2 Shuriken. Level 3 Shuriken, in fact. Level 2 Janata. And now we've got a potential gank here coming from the Radiant side supports. Now it looks like they're going to back off there. Is Jakiro going to head back towards the bottom lane as well? Calculus now, farm-wise, 12 and 2. Definitely not having a great start, getting ganked quite a few times. And of course, every time that's happening, he loses his souls, loses his damage, and loses his ability to really last hit there. Bounty Hunter just going to deny absolutely anything and everything he can. Meanwhile, there's gank on the bottom lane. Split Earth landing. They will pick off Pimpalicious. Dual Breath only going to hit Aki there. God's strength there being used by Loda during that fight. Now they're teleporting on mid. They've got to track there. So Leshrac now going to sweep around. Now Bounty Hunter's still here. Now they can see him obviously. They have this counter ward here if he decides to go invis. However, he's probably just going to charge in here. Leshrac should be close enough. Here we go. Janata to set things up. There's a slow Shuriken as well. Edict, Split Earth, and a pick off on Calculus once again. This Shadow Fiend is just too damn squishy. No defensive skills at all. It's really ruining his day. Meanwhile, the bear going to shop. Wants it picking up. Picked up some gloves there. It looks like Bulldog is going for, I think he's probably going for, he gets, wow, actually gets the roots there. Now we've got Magnus really regretting doing that, although block himself with the bear there. Magnus now trying to pick up some wards. Actually, no, I think he just got his boots back there. Never mind, he will manage to escape. But Bulldog, I think, will be going for Hand of Midas fairly soon. It actually now gets dumped on the ground once again. MB having some fun. Dumping people on the high ground. Meanwhile, we see a regeneration rune spot up at the bottom rune, I suppose. Atsy, if he's got nothing better to do, will act as a ward. Decides to deny it. Sven now just farming this jungle here at the moment. He's fairly low on mana. Does need, will need some arcane boots on his team to really help him out a little bit. As Bounty Hunter S4 is just he's made it his personal vendetta to completely and utterly dominate Calculus this match every time he sees him. No matter where he is, chasing him back to his base, going for a bit of a dive. But this kind of disruption is going to really prevent Shadow Fiend from getting involved in the mid game. Now, whether or not they've got enough firepower, I mean, they've got, Undying has gotten a bit of farm. They've got Magnus, they've got Shikiro as well. I think they can probably win team fights regardless in the mid game just through spells alone, not have to worry too much about Shadow Fiend. But at the same time, I am worried if Shadow Fiend's falling behind this far this quickly. I mean, Bulldog is actually getting a decent amount of farm at the moment, so this could be a serious issue for them. Keep the light there. Stun being used by Loda. Loda actually going to CS with that Stormbolt. I think he's deciding to use his charges there on his Magic Wand. Said, why the hell not? See the Razors come through. There's telekinesis. Shuriken gets tossed through as well. Atty now throwing at the Ice Path. And it looks like they're just going to charge forward. In fact, they're just going to make a run there on Calc. Say, you know what? Why don't we try and finish this guy? Track is down. Janata, do we have a Shuriken? 1 second there. Shuriken's him dead. And there's a pair of track kills for Bounty Hunter, who's going to be literally rolling in money in just a minute here. So I'm going to bring up the GPMs. There we go. 400 gold per minute before the 10-minute mark for Bounty Hunter. S4 is having the time of his life here against Calculus. See Decay, a couple of decays there popped by Pimpalicious. It's going to cause a fair bit of damage. Bounty Hunter now looking top for the rune. Going to come up at 10 minutes. Will he find anything? We'll see. MB also hanging around here, waiting for somebody to cry and get this 10-minute rune. He says, you know what? Come down. Come and get it. I'll throw you up on the high ground. That said, it is top. It's a haste rune found by the Bounty Hunter. Now he's headed top for another gank here. Although the teleport out there by Magnus means he won't find anything at all. Loda now, 1k in the bank. Will he go for that early Mask of Madness? I don't think so. No. I think it'd be really risky to go for the early Mask of Madness against his line. Too much burst potential, especially with Shadow Fiend. Even if he doesn't get a Requiem off, the Razors alone are going to cripple him. If he gets hit by a couple of them. So we might see a few health boosts. This burst until Ice Path gets thrown at S4, getting caught by that. However, he's going to just back up instead. Meanwhile, bottom lane there, Envy just being given a little bit of time to farm. And Aki now being spotted, thrown up some defensive wards now, so they've actually got an idea of when Aki's trying to sweep around. The issue is, though, of course, free farm here for the Lone Druid. It's only up to 287 GPM, though. Hasn't had a Skyrocket farm, but at the same time, of course, he hasn't been around for these track ganks that Bounty Hunters had. But then I say that, There is a gank coming up to the top. They're going to try and pick off Magnus here. Magnus now saving up cash. 800 in the bank. Has gone for the power treads. It looks like they're just going to press forward here. It looks like they're just going to go for the tower instead. Of course, we've got Edict. God's Strength as well. The Bear just going to take a bit of damage away from them. Looks like this will buy some time there. Some Battle Cry as well. They'll be able to finish it up. They give the last hit there to Bulldog. Meanwhile, there is no such push down here in the bottom lane. Rubik is just here to fade bolted if necessary. Little push, but they don't have the same firepower. There we go, Glyph being popped there by no Tidehunter. And we see Nano now charging up. And Illuminate going to hit Envy. He's going to take a lot of damage there. Look at that damage. They're also throwing into Decay. Tombstone gets tossed down as well. Immediately going to try and teleport out. Should be able, no, Decay to finish him. Nicely done there, however. Going to pay for it though. The Nano now their next target. Will get cleaned up fairly easily. And now we're going to see a teleport out there from Dirge. They try to kill for a track kill. In the end, NTH have the net gain there, just because track, of course, we all know how it works. Magnus now in the jungle there. Bulldog just going to resummon his. There now, Calculus. Can he actually pick up the kill, or will he get taken out? He's going to raise there now. Aki trying to back off. We're going to see a kill here most likely. Decay, no, it doesn't have mana for Decay. Aki actually going to manage to escape just barely. Now the counterattack. Calculus about to feed them another kill. S4 just all over them. Doesn't even care. He's got it. I wonder. I get the feeling that Calculus may have said something about S4's mother. Because the way that he is just gunning from every single... How many deaths is he up to? It's 1, 7, and 1 for Shadow Fiend. That is not a good score for your carry player to have. Absolute nightmare for him. And meanwhile, Lone Druid. Complete free farm, free push. He's picked up his Midas as well. Undying though, gets a tower down there. However, the pressure is now going to be put on the top tower. There we go, Battle Cry from the Bear. Bulldog hanging back though, going to try and make sure he doesn't get ganked. Magnus is heading up there though, has a regeneration rune. I don't know if they've got the firepower though. Now they're just going to try and catch Calculus up with a few creep stacks. It's going to take more than that though. S4 now has picked up some drums. Probably going to go for a BKB next, especially against this line, would really benefit them quite a bit. And we see the skewer there on Bulldog, although immediately backs up. The Ice Path getting sent out as well, but I think they realise there's trouble coming. And here it is, it's in the form of Bounty Hunter. Atsi about to get picked off here. There's that Janata hit, tracked down, Shuriken, a shockwave sent through, but it's not going to do anything. Telekinesis now, here's their next target. It's going to be the Magnetory. He's got skewer up though, could charge forward if necessary. Actually no, it's on cooldown, disregard that. Meanwhile, the Shrek picks off Pimpalicious as well. You see an Illuminate getting charged up there. I'm quite surprised that Calculus wasn't picked off in the middle of that somehow. He's been dying so much. There we go. They got the track up on the Nano. Nano realizes he's in trouble, running for his life. Shuriken gets tossed out there. And he's popped his ultimate there, throws down the blind. And you see the Janata managed to hit him regardless of that. Going to go through with that.
Just business.
Chase after him. Calculus, though, deciding not to give chase, has finished up his power trades. We'll have them shipped out in a moment. Unfortunately, you compare that to Sven, who decided, in fact, to go for the Mask of Madness regardless of the risks. Says, you know what? High risk, high reward. Here we go. It's going to help him push towers when nobody's watching as well. Now, how much money does Bulldog have? 2,100 in the bank. Meanwhile, a bit of a fight in mid. Once again, they're gunning for Calculus. Is killing him every single time. S4 doesn't give a damn about towers. He's going to dive two of them. He doesn't have a Shuriken up. Decides to back off now. The haste rune about to wear off. I was about to say he had the mana for it if he popped the magic wand. However, the cooldown was still up. Decides to back up there. Atsi, counting his lucky stars, will go back to base. Undying now. Possibly S4's next target. He's thinking about it. He's spotted up though. His counter ward can see him. There we go, they're pinging him, they know he's there. I think he's realised, okay, they can see me now. He's going to back up. The haste rune just wearing off then. Magnus now has not picked up a whole lot. He's got 2,200 in the bank. I think we'll probably see possibly a blink from them. They need some initiation power here. Something to start off the fight. Get the fight happening on their turns. Because right now, the fights are happening on NTH's turn. Every time they want to start a fight, they've got it here. This is like this. We've got Bounty Hunter. Just complete free reign. Taking whoever he wants out. As it looks like now, S4 going to try and back up. The skewer not fast enough to do anything. And a bit of a misclick here. 2 counter wards. I mean, this is how pissed off Bounty Hunter's main. Just whenever he pops up, complete freak out mode. Double counter wards getting tossed down in the same position. And MYM definitely on tilt here, not really having the best of games. You see a blink dagger though picked up by Magnus. We'll see if this can help turn the fights around, or at least help them start on MYM's terms. Just going to check the goal difference here. 7.5k lead for the rated side. Also a 10,000 experience lead. And, okay, Bulldog has decided to go for Demon Edge instead, so never mind. I don't know if he's going for a Rapier or something. I really doubt a Monkey King Bar would be the case. Or a Daedalus. Again, really unlikely, but I don't know if they're feeling so cocky that he says, you know what, let me just get a Rapier. But I don't really see what... I mean, Monkey King Bar, not generally an early game item for the Lone Druid, nor is a Daedalus. Flat damage though, of course, going to help them push this, and going to see the Warcry in a second. No, not wasting. You're going to wait for that glyph to get popped. They can see Bounty Hunter though, double damage, hits him with a no, misses with the skewer, has to ult to get him. They get the kill at very least in the end there. And now we see the Ice Path tossed down, going to try and pick up Aki. Should be able to manage. There we go, 4v1 there, easy kill for them. Meanwhile though, they're going to trade that for a tower. Bulldog going to pick that off. Finally, they finish off S4 and pick him off there, but at the same time, Bulldog getting a ton of farm, and they're not really doing a whole lot about him. And they haven't even really taken that many towers yet. I mean, they start pushing mid, taking these towers in mid, or even the bottom lane. That's going to be a ton of money for them. Also, Loda has been free farming, working on probably a BKB now, one would suspect. See the Lunate being charged out there, going to do a lot of damage to poor old Sven. Sharing some farm there. See, Bounty Hunter has also picked up a Demon's Edge. I don't know if that's their goal here. Everybody gets a Demon's Edge. We'll see. Bounty Hunter, though, going for some massive burst damage there with his Janata at the moment. Also a Haster in there. Bounty Hunter going to bottle that up. Probably make a run on the Netto. Or if he can see Calculus, I mean, he'll probably try and kill Calculus in a second. Calculus has gone back to base. Has picked up an Ogre Club. And there we go, they see the Nano. Gonna be his next target for sure. And the Nano now working on a mech. And here we go, Bounty Hunter can see him, pops that Haster in there, gonna track him up as well. Shuriken on top of that, gonna clean him up, 3 hits, nice and easy. Also, Dragon Series, well, Macropire trying to lock him down. One more hit, Bounty Hunter though, his Invis has managed to wear off, gonna pop another one, baiting them back into the Carcass. Carcass, how's he gonna get hit by Telekinesis? They can't see him though. They're gonna pick up somebody, there we go, track being used to brick up Atsy. Atsy getting brought down, but here we go, ult there for positions, they're gonna try and back up. S4 also moving back, although there we go, Ty having his ultimate stolen by Rubik. Mini happy Rubik there, look at his face, he's so cheerful. And they will not actually even get Leshrac. Leshrac actually getting the hell out of there, actually teleporting back to base. No stuns means they couldn't do anything about it. Blink Dagger up on Magnus, we'll see if he can make something happen with it. Hasn't really gotten into a fight just yet. Bulldog has bought something. Okay, nope. He went for a Monkey King Bar. Never mind then. I don't know exactly why, but he said, you know what, Monkey King Bar, let's make one. And there we go, the blink in, the ult there from Magnetor. Going to try and take S4. Should be at him one last hit. We'll bring him down there. I mean, it's a little bit desperate. It's an ult they kind of need for team fights, but they're just not getting them right now. And that bear is doing a lot of damage. Look at Calculus get wrecked by the bear. If he procs a root, I think Calculus is going to get killed. In fact, anybody gets hit by that root, there is in a lot of trouble. Bear now getting hit by the Ice Path. Bulldog as well. They're going to try and chase him off here with an Illuminate. Also the Shockwave on top of that. See the net value there. 9.5k there for the Lone Druid. 8.8 for Loda. And 8.5 there for the Bounty Hunter. The next closest just short of 7,000 there for the Magnus. Smoke gank though from the Radiant side. Shadowfiend finds himself a double damage rune. Is he about to get ganked? I don't know. It looks like they're going to miss him this time round. Unless Lone Druid decides, oh no, wait a minute, they're going to sweep around from behind. Looks like Carcass is going to suffer another horrible, painful death. Here we go, the charging and Sven going to go in there. We'll open up with a stun. Hasn't even bothered popping any of his abilities here. Tombstone getting thrown down. Shadowfiend getting picked up already. Now they're chasing after Dirge. Dirge are trying to back off. S4 giving chase, trying to juke around over the trees. He's visible though. Ults up. What does Rubik have? Rubik has Decay at the moment. Pimpalicious, an easy kill. There's another track kill for them. And they're going to start pushing down this mid tower. Fairly easy stuff for them. King Bar also has picked up an Orb of Venom now as well. I guess simple stuff there, but I still don't get this Monkey King Bar. But then again, I also didn't get the freaking Spirit Breaker ban either, which was a bit odd indeed. And push in on the racks. No, they are going to back off. Looks like they're just going to pick up the Roshan, I think. And honestly, there's not much the Dire can do about it right now. Undying picking himself up a pipe if he can. He's got the Hood of Defiance working on the pipe now. He can use the rest of God's Strength here to just help bring down Roshan. Yeah, to get this fairly easy. There's not much MYM can do about this. Atty just going to be chilling back here. Has a double damage rune on Calculus, still bottled up, still trying to get his souls back, in fact. S4 now, also with his own Demon Edge. In fact, something's on the way here. And there's his... Oh, Blink Dagger for who is that? Blink Dagger for somebody else. It might be going to Sven, actually. Or even... Actually, no, I think that's probably Rubik's Blink Dagger. It really helps him with the mobility. Opening up fights. It will be Rubik's Blink Dagger. And also stealing spells, the other big thing. That mobility is a big bonus indeed. But Bounty Hunter also grabbing himself a Monkey King bar there. Definitely not that of a regular item. Generally, they go for the BKBs first. But Sven now, BKB is finished. Going for a bit of a glass cannon build here on the BH. It's definitely doable. And they have also given the Bounty Hunter the Aegis here. He's the one who does find himself deep in enemy lines, also in the wrong place, the wrong time. Although here we go, Shadow Fiend now, almost finishing enough, almost has enough cash for his Mithril Hammer as a push now on the second tier bottom tower. Where's the Spirit Bear gone to? Ah, there it is. What has he got? Spirit Bear has actually picked up Arcane Boots. Wow. I mean, that's how rich they feel that they can say that Lone Druid can go, you know what, have a spare 1,000 gold, have a spare 1,000 gold, just so you can have Arcane Boots. This is mostly, I think, just so we can use the Midas on the bear. Looks like the push is up on top though. Unfortunately, Keeper Light the only one there. Apparently, nobody teleporting back to help him out quickly enough. The buyback dive from Keeper.
That you would trust me once more.
And they're going to put the pressure on both the mid and the top lane now. No tight under. Really easy game for them. They're going to put the pressure on the mid lane with the Crip Hub. They're going to rotate towards the top lane. Go all in up here. Going to try and bring down this tower. There we go. Lone Druid hanging back there. Just going to let the bear do the work there. Demolish, of course, tearing through this tower. Edict being popped out as well. Actually, Lone Druid coming in to help as well. Just going to hit away on the glyph. Magnus coming in, skewer in. Not finding the position for his ult. Pops his ult. Doesn't do anything except to hit a magic immune Sven who barely cares. Takes out the tombstone as now they charge it. S4 gets taken out. And there we go. Rubik, he stole the ult there from Magnus. Brings them all in. There is a massive set of kills there for NTH. They bring him down. Sven's cleave going into overtime, completely crushing them. A buyback there from Magnus, but here we go. The top racks is falling, and this is nice and easy here for No Time, and it barely even challenged this match. A Crystallis actually picked up. I mean, this is how far behind Calculus is. They've decided, yo, he's still on the farm. We've got to buy any sort of carry item we can on somebody else, and they've picked up a Crystallis on Magnus just so they can use it with overpower on him. There we go, blinks in, gets the lift up there, looks at Magnus now, throwing out the shockwave though, they will finish him up. A Dagon on, who has got the Dagon? Oh, okay, so this is how Cocky Bulldog is finished. Put a Dagon on the bear, never mind. Now we know what he wanted, those arcane boots for. He wanted a level 1 Dagon there. Possibly even going to max it out. Bulldog now backing up there. They should get the second racks fairly easily. Envy also being picked off there. Let's say Envy though with quick fingers stealing that Magnus ult. Fortunately Magnetor kind of screwing that up quite horribly. And now S4 going to get sucked into Calculus taking another kill there. As it looks like Loda also give chase. There's the God's Strength cleaving that damage out there. Picks up a nasty hit there. Has also picked up a Monkey King bar. Absolutely destroying Undying Hammer. Gets picked up in the end. And there we go. GG well played from the Neto. And unfortunately MYM get completely outclassed this game by No Tidehunter. Honestly, from this set of heroes, I was worried as hell. However, in the end there, No Tidehunter were the better team. So guys, this has been MYM taking over. I'm taking a fall there as No Tidehunter take this to fairly 2-0, fairly easy 2-0 sweep. I will be trying to get an interview with somebody from No Tidehunter fairly soon. Possibly talk to Eternal Envy in a second, but you know what guys, I really want to know how they saw that lineup and, you know, said we're going to deal with this, because as the lineup to be scared of. I'm not too sure about the Shadow Fiend. I feel something like a safe carry like a Clinch would have been a better idea, but as it was more than just Calculus getting completely shut down. There was a lot more to it than that this match. The fact was, they also just did not get any pressure on this lone druid, and he could just, and as you can see, he could build whatever the hell he felt like. And also the fact that Bounty Hunter was allowed to get completely out of control. Nobody really rotated to help deal with him early on. Just gotta wait for them to finish screwing around here, and then we'll move on in just a second. See the Peck getting double stuns there. Although, Calculus finally getting a second kill on the board. Yep, there we go. Finally getting a second kill on the board. Something to be happy about.
Tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Aki also being chased off there as well. Just so they're happy to keep fighting for the moment. Somebody's busy microing.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Track down once again. You see S4 is charged. It's free kill, free kill, free kill. Let me get this, let me get this. Finish them off with 2 hits there. And it looks like it's also going to be the same there for Magnus. He's going to get a kill there before he gets taken out as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He's going to go for the Requiem with not very many souls, 26. And she might get a third. Oh wow. Calculus might get a third kill here. He gets a third kill, it's going to be Bounty Hunter. So this is kind of how badly Calculus got drilled in mid by S4. He has actually picked up more kills in the post game. We're actually asking if he wants to rescrim.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower.
Talk to S4 instead. If it's S4, I'll tune in. I think Calculus wants to know exactly what went on.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's agent is under attack. Dire's agent is under attack.
I'll see who we can get. We should be able to get somebody first. I would like to talk to S4 though, see exactly what he's got against Calculus.
Dire's agent is under attack. Radiant the victor.
Alright, so see if we can get this interview rolling in just a moment. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow with another match, but stay tuned. Should have an interview coming up fairly shortly.